the lineups, it's got to be either that Haven or Shadow that's going to be their outlier, because I really can't see Blood not being able to pick up a win. And same with Rune, because you're going to draw the crazy, insane Daria tempo hand at one point.
Yeah, at least once. Like, it's not going to go 0-4. I don't think any of the...
like there's no way. And same with Blood, right? Like,
yeah,
even an average Blood draw beats like most average to good draws from another deck. So, and
I don't think any of these decks have the potential to go 0-4. I think even the fourth decks, I think should be able to find a win if they're given so many chances.
And we get to see the Blood Mirror.
Oh yeah,
mirror though.
Great way to. Oh yeah, because who was it that had the interesting build?
Fhatina.
Fatin? Oh yeah, the game that everyone missed.
Wardrobe Raider.
Yeah, he got Wardrobe Raider. The game that everyone missed because we were doing a radio broadcast, but now we get to see the set go into work. I mean, Lexan does have a really good opening here. We finally see someone as a Blood start off with a 1-drop. And he gets to follow Urius.
Going first.
Yeah.
On turn 2.
So that's like the strongest line that aggro Blood could have in the mirror match. It would.
What I do like to see is that Fhatina actually kept the Wardrobe Raider because he's going second.
Yeah.
And though we don't really see this card, I actually think it's probably pretty good in the mirror, because where Wardrobe Raider is usually one of the lets, like, not usually your typical Evo 4 drop that gets played, like compared to some of the other ones like Cudgel and stuff. That extra heal is actually going to be relevant in this match.
Oh yeah, especially in this matchup.
Whereas like any other matchup, it's not typically as useful.
Yeah, I would say against really mid-range control decks, it's not really doing anything. And Wardrobe Raider was always one of the weaker 4-drop Evo cards that classes had. Yeah. But it's been seen its way back. Like, in control builds of Blood, people have been playing it in their deck as well.
Yeah, and I think it's actually gonna be pretty useful in this matchup. Especially since he is a slightly slower version of Blood, right?
Yeah. Oh, but he's actually going for the Night Horde instead this turn.
Urius needs to die.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he does take 1 less damage because he didn't have to drop the follower. If you kill Urius, while playing minions, as long as he's dead first, then you won't take the damage, which is very relevant. Otherwise, he would have taken 2 damage by playing that Horde.
Oh, it's got the Summon Bloodkin with the Vania.
Yeah, that's really dirty. So he got to push the 3 damage in there and use the Evolve to trade.
But you know, the Wardrobe Raider is going to be really good this turn.
It is good, but will it be enough here?
Because well, looking at his hand, he's got 1 card left, so I mean, he could win off. No, he can't even win now because of the 2 heal. It could be, I guess his best option is what, an Implancer?
Yeah, Implancer would be ideal here because he'd be able to push him down to 2. And this Wardrobe Raider is the only heal in Fatina's deck, right? So even though the 2 health is helpful, I think at this point of the game where he's taking so much damage, it's not going to be doing as much. Yeah. Because now, yeah, like this 2 damage did save him this turn, but Blood could easily do 2 more damage, I think.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because it's really unlikely for him to... He can't outrace him, right? He's not going to deal 15 damage before his opponent picks up 2 more.
Yeah.
It's just very unlikely to happen.
There are cases where he could brick. I mean, if he doesn't draw it this turn, he's
true.
dead.
I mean, he...
Oh.
But, no.
Yeah, he had it. Yeah, and that's what we were... It's like what we were saying earlier. The heal... If you had the heal or the ward, you'd probably want the ward, because if he had like a big ward on turn 4 that he could evolve, it'd stop a lot more damage than healing too.
I think it's less relevant against Blood, specifically, just because they have so much damage early, and like so much burn. Like it's very hard to put up taunts or put up wards against them early on.
Yeah.
So like the wards are not as useful later, and like the healing is useful, but you usually just can't out heal it.
Yeah.
Whereas some of the other matchups, I actually think they're better because they have less burn and they can't actually get that early damage as fast as Blood can.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the build Fhatina has for his Blood is meant for other matchups? And because I don't think it's as good in the mirror match because it does have all those slower cards.
It's gotta be worse.
Yeah. So I would assume it's better against things like maybe it's better for Temple Rune, or I'm not too sure how he protected or for which matchups it was for.
I can't assume it's going to be much worse in the mirror because, like, to be fair, like his opponent did go first and did curve out like very nicely, right?
Yeah.
Like he 1 into 2, and then he even had a second Yuri later on, right?
Yeah.
And usually who goes first just wins that matchup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
because he still has most of the same early tools as the aggro does. He just has a few.
Lexan did have the really strong opening there.
Yeah, so I can't say that the matchup has got to be that much different. It's just you do have that chance to brick if you draw some of the later stuff, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Just slightly less consistent.
Yeah.
But like you said, it might not be. He probably built this for maybe different matchups.
Yeah.
Specifically.
So now we have the Haven versus the... Which kind of Haven list was Lexan playing? His is the... Okay, it's the hybrid one.
It's the hybrid.
Yeah, the Elena hybrid. Okay,
so... Oh, please don't tell me it's bugging out again.
Oh, I hope not.
It was just loading really slowly. Oh, no.
Are you back in?
It's loading. It's strange, I've never had problems like this. But,
well, the Temple Rune... Okay, so for Phatina's build of Temple Rune, he does play it with the Demonic Strikes, which I have seen a little bit of from other players. What do you think of Demonic Strike in Temple Rune?
I think it's alright. I played it a little bit. I can't really decide on a Daria build because I kept switching in a few cards here and there.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty good just because a lot of the time you're really racing just to like push that like final burn damage because you don't want to just keep flooding the board because eventually it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Or you might just brick and not actually manage to do it. So I think it's a good option, but it does also just like if you draw it early, it really sucks.
Yeah, it's such a basic card. But it does synergize with your spell boost minions, but it's really slow if you have to do that early on. Yeah, I can see what you mean. It's just kind of that extra reach. I've seen because some Temple Runes do want to be really aggressive, and some just go for more of a value, get board control.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take control of this one. I don't know what's going on. It's bugged it on me again.
All right, that's no problem.
This is what's the matchup?
It's Elena Haven versus Temple Rune.
Okay, yeah, it's got to be Daria's fault then, because.
Oh yeah, every time it's. Actually broken card. We need to put our maintenance right, guys. Just like they put Nepsis on maintenance.
What's that? Sorry?
We gotta put Daria on maintenance to fix her. Kappa.
Yeah, I let him know, so.
Okay, so the Haven does have an Elena set up, and he has the Cujo on his 5, on his first turn to evolve to clean up most of the board. So he does have ways, he is stabilizing. The Temple Rune still does not have a Daria, which could be a big problem. As Temple Rune puts out all the threats, if it's easily answerable, or if the Haven gets a Themis off this board, I don't see a way that the Temple Rune can come back into this game. So I guess you have to consider as the Temple Rune, do you just go all in on your board, or do you just play conservative with your hand since you don't have a Daria secured?
So he hasn't drawn a Daria
No.
this game.
He does have the Demonic Strike and Crimson Sorcery in his hand while the Haven is at 11. He did opt to hold on to 2 followers in his hand as well, so he is playing around the turn 6 Themis. So that is a good heads up play for Fat Tina. He recognizes that if Lexan wants to clear the board, his easiest way is using Themis, and conveniently on turn 6 would be for the Themis Decree. And
So
then
he's probably holding back for a turn that just to wait after, and then before he drops the rest.
yeah, because if the Themis Decree does come down, he does get the initiative again to refuel to get the board back up.
Yeah.
He does pick up the Daria, but it's a little bit too late now. Craig is going to
reduce it.
Yeah.
To the following turn.
He has Craig, and he's going to be able to play it next turn, so he could dump his hand while playing the. Oh, he's going to hold on to the Blade Mage. That's interesting. He has 7 burst damage in hand. This is going to be a close one. It really depends on how what the rune draws off the Daria next turn, because he does have a little bit of time. I would say 2 turns before the Elena's board actually just kills the Temple Rune. The problem I find with Daria sometimes is that when you play her, you're just using your turn to play dudes on your board, and you're not really doing much else.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's very linear in what it does, and all you can really do is just flood the board with what you draw. It refuels your hand, but there are certain times when you need to flood the board, like you need to draw that hand off of her to flood the board.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it's just not good enough. Or there are times where you flood the board and you don't have any more, follow up after that, and just, a simple board clear could actually just end you.
Yeah. So now Fatina's forced to clear off the board. He was able to clear off most things. There's still just a 3/4 Angel on the board. The Daria did pick up a second Daria, which is really useful. Which is what is good is because he doesn't have anything else with that draw. Like the Daria picked up 2 Conjure Golems, Levi, and a Craig, which do nothing at this point of the game. So he's probably going to start off his next turn with the second Daria and try to pick up some more gas. Or I guess he could start off with the double Conjure Golems, get his Daria down, play that as well.
So what are the life totals looking at right now?
The Rune is at 8 and Haven's at 12. But the Haven has board control. She has a 2/3 and a 4/4.
What I found with playing Temple Rune is you don't actually have a lot of ways to swing back the board after your Evos are gone.
Yeah.
Because you can play your Daria and you can flood the board, but you still can't do anything with it, so you...
Yeah. Unless you pick up Blade Mages.
Behind it's pretty tough.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the biggest swings that Temple Rune does is they get the Levi's, evolve the Levi's, and they have the Crimson Sorcery and the Piercing Rune. That's like the biggest swings that they do. Daria's actually pretty manageable, but if it wasn't for Levi Piercing Rune combos, I'm pretty sure the deck wouldn't be as good as it is right now.
That's true. Especially once and Ogler, I think, is another pretty big offender.
Oh yeah. Just being at 5 is like perfect for Daria. Perfect synergy. But
sometimes he comes out before Daria.
Yeah. But now the Temple Rune is forced to try to grind out the Haven. But it's really hard because the Haven is just getting bigger boards with Elena's. They have a late game win condition in terms of Seraph, so they don't mind grinding out, and if the rune's not careful enough and plays too much on the board, they could lose everything to Themis Decree.
And his health is still quite away from burn, right?
Yeah, the Haven's healed back up to 16, and Haven just pushed face for putting the rune at 3. So it's like,
I think that's it.
It's going to be really, especially with an area set up with an Elena's on the board. If once the area pops and he has a heal, it's just over for the rune. So at this point, the rune has to just try to end the game soon. What's interesting in Fatina's build is that he's actually playing Disaster Witches for those extra burn damage.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I didn't see that before.
Yeah, so there's the famous decree to clear off the board. So he does have 6 damage burn and a Dance of Death pickup, which is 8 damage burn. He just needs to find 1 more damage and try to make sure the Haven has something on the board where he can use Dance of Death on. The rune might actually pull a win here. It looked pretty grim for them for the runecrafts at first, but somehow grinding it out and having these extra burn damage in these Disaster Witches and the Demonic Strikes seem to be paying off here.
I think one of the weakest things about Haven, just as a class as a whole, or usually the more defensive builds, is the fact that you can't actually play that many things on the same turn.
Yeah.
So even though you could be in this fairly safe position, one big board swing, or just some big tempo swing, and you actually might just not have the answer for it, because you can only really play 1-2 cards a turn, and it's just not enough. You could be sitting on a whole hand of heals and removal, but they just flood the board. You don't have that Themis, or you're very limited to the things you can do.
Yeah. Alright, so that's going to be game for the Haven. The Haven was pulled out the win with the area plus the heal. And that just did the final 3 damage. It really came down to that last turn, because if he couldn't kill the rune at that last turn, he probably would have won with his burn spells in his hand. So that came down to the wire there, which was pretty surprising, because the Haven seemed like it had stabilized for a while, but then the rune somehow was pulling back and then was accumulating burn damage. So that's going to be 2 games in the lead for Lexan here. Lexan just has to get a win with his runecraft and the forest. And what we were talking about, the Havencraft being one of that 4th pick kind of deck, already got its win. So now he's just left with 2 of the top tier decks right now. He's got this Temple Rune and the Miracle Roach left.
Ooh. So he's got arguably, some of the most reliable decks that he has. So it's gonna be pretty hard to stop both of them, from getting, like you said, there's no way they're going 0-4, right?
Yeah. Well, on the other side, Fatina still has Temple Rune, Miracle Roach, and Aggro Blood. Those are all reliable decks as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up those wins and we get to a game 7.
And there is actually one thing to point out. Now that the Haven is gone, maybe his Shadow can actually find a pretty good matchup where he wants it. Because I think the Shadow is actually okay against both Forest and Rune.
Yeah, well, it's definitely good against Forest and Rune. The Temple Rune did kind of stomp over the Shadow last time we saw the match. It was the first match you bugged out of. So I'm not too convinced that Shadow is entirely favored against the Temple Rune. Or I don't think any deck is really favored against Temple Rune. Okay. In this matchup, this matchup is really close to, it seems. When I'm playing Miracle Roach, I usually try to be as aggressive as possible, because once the Temple Rune goes off on turn 4 or 5 with the Darius, you can't catch up on board as the Miracle Roach. You just have to try to burn them down.
Yeah. It's all about really how fast the Daria can get off, because if they can get everything on board before you've really assembled your combo pieces or dealt any damage, then it's really hard to come back from that point.
Yeah.
Just because you just have to disregard their board.
And from what we do see the Daria possibly coming out on turn at least turn 6, but it's possible turn 5 if he gets a spell next turn that you could play with the Craig.
No, it's not possible.
He has a 3-cost spell, right? Magic, like magic missiles or something.
How can you play it? It costs 8 right now.
Oh, I guess it's not possible to play on turn 5 because he's going to turn 5 now.
No.
Yeah.
You have to wait till turn 6.
Yeah. So, but guaranteed turn 6 is coming out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the slightly awkward hand of Dance of Death Demonic Strike is
Yeah, he could just
pretty
pitch.
rough.
Yeah, well, he could just pitch it next turn and start anew. I mean, the Dance of Death would have been okay to answer like the Ancient Elf if he wanted. Do you still go for the Daria this turn? Into the Fina?
I think you do, because the Fina right now is going to kill Craig and be left with 2 health.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to play Daria into... Well, I guess no, you can't even get Piercing Rune.
Well,
Because
you could.
It won't work.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he won't be able to play it this turn, but he does get the reduction, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Daria here because the rest of his hand was super clunky. So just pitching in and drawing 5 new cards seems like a good plan.
Oh, wait, no, I guess he could have. I guess he could have done it, right? Because if you played Daria, you'd have one mana available. And then he plays, he could have played the...
Oh yeah, instead of the Conjure Golem?
Yeah, he'd have to draw the Piercing Rune and a 0-cost follower.
Yeah.
Actually. So, I don't blame him for the play he made.
Yeah, I would have just gone for the Conjure Golem anyways, because you have to know you would have to know you're drawing Piercing Rune to do it the other way.
Yeah. And Piercing Rune plus another card too, so.
Yeah. And what that Daria didn't pick up any really good cards, so like he might just run out of gas with his hand.
Interesting. So he's going in for the combo right now, but we do know he does have 2 other roaches in hand, right? I know he has at least 1.
I know he had 2 for sure.
Yeah, he had 2 for sure.
Yeah, so he could be setting up for the kill soon.
Yeah, we've seen 2 Goblin Mages played.
Yeah. Does he have any free
One of
cards?
them was off the Fina.
Well, he's not going to die this turn.
He could, couldn't he?
It's very unlikely with the cards that he played so far. He would have to have a bunch of free cards, like 2 free cards and then Nature's Guidance, which he wouldn't have from what we've seen. This is going to be close, I think.
I think he would have been 1 off.
Okay.
I think he would have been 1 off. Because he didn't have any 0-cost cards. He would have been 1 off. Or unless he had double Roach in his hand. Which I guess he probably only has 1.
Oh. Yeah, it's going to be it.
We got a snipe though.
Wow. And yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, like for the Miracle Roach to win against the Temple Rune, they just have to get all that damage in early before Rune just rolls them over with their board.
Mm-hmm. And they do have to make sure they've tutored into their combo pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to have it early enough to just end the game before they even get to play their Daria.
So that's going to be 3-0 at the moment. He just has to win with the Rune now. Alright, so will the Temple Rune brick and go 0 and go 0-4? That's what that's what our viewers want. They want to see Temple Rune just crumble. Let's go ahead and start off with the Temple Rune mirror match. But I guess they do have slightly different builds because Fhatina does have a he does have that extra burn.
It's a more burn heavy list.
Yeah, like do you think that would give him the advantage, or is this matchup all about getting that board?
I really just think it's who gets the the best Daria or Daria. Like that's like I hate to like put it down to that, but I've just found this like match. Like if one player isn't holding Daria in their hand at the beginning, and then the other is, then it's just like heavily favored towards that one player. And then if both players actually have her, it really comes down to who gets the better Daria.
The better draw, yeah. Yeah, in my experience playing this deck,
That is a start, though.
yeah, he does have all
Holy.
the cards he needs. Double reduction.
About the turn 4 if he wants it.
Yeah. I think you go for it. Or I guess he has the Levi on 4.
Yeah.
Who would
Oh man, his hand is insane.
It's going to be interesting how he decides to play his hand out.
He's got the piercing rune too, though.
Yeah, he's got the dream. He's got the
right?
dream Levi on 4 with piercing rune. But the thing is, like, if you wait that one turn and the other player plays Daria first, don't you start to fall behind?
But he can't. The only way to play Daria on 4 is I guess he can't. Could he play it on 5? Could he even play it on 5? I don't think so, because he's only got
he hasn't
2
played a spell
activations
yet.
now.
Yeah.
He's got 2 activations. It's not possible.
Yeah, I think, the next turn, I think you definitely go Levi, and you could even go with your Ogler too, so you can maximize your...
Levi Piercing Rune, the 3-mana spell, the Crimson Sorcery, and then Ogler.
Yeah.
Into Daria on the following turn for, like, nothing. Oh, man.
Alright, so here's our favorite Temple Rune turn. Do you save the spells? No, I guess you would.
I think you go all in here.
He's going Crimson Sorcery.
He hasn't played enough spells that he can't actually play his Daria next turn, right?
Yeah.
Like, we know
But-
it's not possible.
But
So if you just flood the board, how can he actually deal with that? Like, he has to have his own Levi right here, but then you get to play your Daria first anyway, right?
what about keeping the Crimson Sorcery to kill off a minion next turn? Because you could still play Ogler that turn, and
Yeah, this is a fair point.
the Crimson
but
Sorcery
then-
does reduce the Daria evenly, so you're not losing mana.
Yeah. But you do sacrifice playing Ogler on this turn, right?
No, you would.
Yeah.
He had Ogler would cost 1 last turn, I believe.
He wouldn't have been able to play the Ogler, right? He had to play the Sorcery, didn't he? Oh, no, I
No,
guess
the
not.
Ogler costed 1. He had 1 mana left.
Yeah, I guess that's a fair point, then.
It doesn't seem to hurt him that bad because he did have the demonic strike, which did curve him into the Daria anyways. So I guess it still worked out for him, or maybe he thought ahead of us and knew that he could just use the demonic strike instead to clear off a minion.
He might have just opted to use it just to be more mana efficient, so that on the following turn he would just have the most possible mana,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, I guess that's a fair point as well. So
Or I guess it
15,
wouldn't matter, though, right? Because it would have reduced Daria's cost.
yeah, that's what.
No, I guess either way. But as you could see, that was not very interactive at all.
Yeah, that was a very fast game. And Fatina's getting back into the board now with his first win with that Temple Rune.
And he's playing his blood, and he's going first.
Yeah, so I think he... Oh yeah, but he is playing the slower kind of build. We'll see how it plays out in this matchup. Because we're still not sure what he's trying to target with this different build of aggro blood, right?
Or temple blood, as you like to call it.
Yeah, Temple Blood.
Okay.
Although
so
I'm
we
not
didn't
too
see-
sure.
We didn't see any play on the first turn for the Daria player, which means it is not possible for him to get turn 4 Daria.
Okay.
Unless he had, I think, like triple 1 mana spell.
But he would have played it last turn. Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. So there's no hope for that.
Yeah. But I mean, he does have time to afford a slower. Twitch chat wants us to call her Dorothy. I guess a Japanese name. But
Dorothy.
yeah, Daria, Dorothy, whatever. But he does have time to play her because of the slower build. I'm not sure if Lexan is aware of this being. Wait, Oh no, they opened up with the blood mirror, so I guess he does know that it's not the traditional aggro blood.
But he didn't see that many cards, right? Like, he
Yeah.
saw the wardrobe leader.
Yeah, he
That's
saw
it.
the wardrobe leader, and yeah,
Whatever
he
he
just
would've-
died before he could see more. So I guess
I guess whatever he would have seen would have been from the previous game if he was watching that,
yeah.
like when we streamed it.
Oh, but he wouldn't have seen it because no one saw the game.
Oh, that's true. that's true.
Secretly concealed his deck. Okay. Well, he does have these magic missiles that are pretty nice to ping off these bats. He does have a good answer with the wardrobe leader this turn.
But I think he just
We'll
played
clear up
Nighthorde.
the
Yep.
No, yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, you routed Nighthorde?
I think I would just to save the Evo because you could just trade in one bat and then Nighthorde, right?
Yeah.
Because
And-
what do you do on the following turn? Like, I guess you can play Nighthorde on the following turn, but I don't know.
The
It's
wardrobe
hard to say.
leader is now. Did he keep the Crimson Sorcery?
Yeah, he still has it.
Yeah. So if he still has it, then I guess I would agree with the Nighthorde because then he could easily now he's easily able to kill this 4/3.
I just feel like when you're in a position where you don't have that much in hand, and your opponent doesn't really have that much of a board to deal with, you want to like conserve your bigger Evo target just to make sure you're okay for the following turn.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like, I mean, he can still clear stuff on the following turn probably, but you know, he might have got more value out of his wardrobe raider.
Yeah, quite possibly. And now the Nighthorde doesn't kill the Witchette anymore. This is
That's not a bad draw though.
Yeah, he is forced to use this evolve, but he is getting the 3 extra damage in with the night with Vania's effect anyways.
That's true. So it's not a bad play, and the rune player only has one more Evo point left.
Yeah, so it's likely that these bats are going to get in some damage because I think
I mean, even a Daria is not gonna.
yeah this
It's
turn
not gonna do anything this turn, right? Unless
Yeah.
he gets some blade mages and stuff. He's gonna need to use some removal.
he needs to have like a Levi plus having the piercing runes to help manage this board a bit. Otherwise, if he just has a subpar hand just full of like spell boost followers, he's going to use his whole turn dealing with the Vania. At least he had the Kaleidoscope for an easy removal.
Does it feel bad though, knowing that Vanny is still alive? This is not
Yeah,
that bad.
it's better than
You've already-
using your Evo to trade a follower in, I think.
Yeah, and you've already seen quite a few bat cards played, so you
Mhm.
might not be able to combo the damage.
Yeah. And he is at 11, so he is at a pretty safe life total, I would say. It does feel bad using the Piercing Ring and the Crimson Sorcery on the 1/1s.
Yeah.
It feels
Now, does he
bad.
have Daria? Or is Dorothy? She
Oh yeah, if she comes out, I think that's going to be a really big turning point. But it doesn't look like he has it.
I'm gonna say no. There's no way he wouldn't have played it here if he had it.
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't.
Like unless it's in his hand and you just actually can't play it yet.
And the blood hungry matriarch is coming down. It came down pretty well too. It's clearing off the board, pushing the damage, and now it's a 4/5 that Lexan has to deal with. Granted, he still has 1 Evo point, so he should be able to deal with it quite decently as long as if he has a follower. He might not have any followers in his hand. Like, his last turn was pretty weak. It was just removing bats and playing a 2/2. I'm trying to think of what cards he could be holding onto in his hand. He might just have like a bunch of these spell boost cards with nothing in spell boost.
Okay. He did have the Daria, but I'm pretty sure he picked it up too late that even though he played all those 1 mana spells,
Yeah.
He didn't have enough to actually play her, because you could see right here she was 5, which
Yeah.
means she was actually 7 because he played Craig. So she was sitting in his hand at 7, so there was no possible way he could have played it on the previous turn. So was unfortunate at the time.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him, but at least he's finally able to get it out here. He refill because it seemed like his hand was getting pretty weak, so the redraw is going to be very helpful for him.
The Blood Hungry Matriarch again. Doing some work, actually.
Yeah, clearing off that board and pushing off 2 damage. He could trade in with the Witch now, but he's starting to get low. He's at 8. Do you think that the Blood will be able to pull off the win? Because he's going to have to trade the Witch in. Next turn, Fhatina could play with Mastema, and a 6/6 body is not too easy for a rune to deal with, especially at this stage of the game.
Yeah, with no more Evo points. And
yeah.
Probably a lack of removal as well.
Yeah, because he just used like most of his piercing runes, and he doesn't have any more Crimson sorceries.
He's gonna have to flood and make as big of a board now as he can.
Yeah,
because he doesn't. That's the weakness of Temple Rune is they don't have many reactive cards.
Yeah.
Past like their cheap removal and you know, like just the Evo points.
Mm-hmm.
So
if he's
stages like this, like it could be a little bit tricky.
Yeah, if he doesn't put 4 more power on the board, he might just straight up die to this Mastema. However, he might have like a Dance of Death that could answer it easily.
That is true. I forgot about that.
That's like his 1 hard removal. Oh, well, now he does have 6 power on the board. So if he doesn't have it, he could trade.
On Dance of Death?
I'm pretty sure most of them do, right? Let me double check. Yeah, he runs 3. 3 Dance of Death.
It's only 2.
Oh, 2? Okay.
Just 2.
Well, he's gonna have to have it here, or I guess he could have that. He has 1 more piercing rune, if I recall. So he could play a 4-cost piercing rune. The Night Horde there was a pretty good pickup because now he has to have an answer from hand. Which he has to answer.
Oh, did he just pick that up off the glow?
Oh, I'm not sure actually.
I think he did. Oh, but he did have the piercing rune anyway.
Yeah, I mean, having the Dance of Death is a lot better because now he could. He still has the followers.
Are we gonna see the 3rd matriarch right here?
Oh, that would be crazy. Do you have to trade here?
Ooh.
I think you do, right?
I think so. Yeah, you got it right.
Oh man, this is really close now. Does he have any more reach? Does Lexan have any more reach? I guess he still has more Dance of Death.
There was 1 demonic strike, but he already used it.
Yeah.
And
I believe that was this
game.
Yeah.
Is there 1 more piercing rune?
I think he used all 3. The last one he did last. Yeah, I think the one he used last turn was the last one.
Does he have any more blade mages? He's used at least 2, I think. There might be 1 more blade mage, but even then, that's not enough, and he doesn't have snipes.
Yeah. I mean, could magic missiles be good? Oh, but he's not gonna have any more mana to pick up a lead. Oh no, he wouldn't have been close to lethal anyways with 4 on the board. What? So he could trade.
Oh man.
Do you kill? You have to kill the Vania, right? Over the.
Yeah, I think so.
So he just needs 1 damage.
It's gonna come down to this draw.
Oh, that's not it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's going to be it for Fhatina.
Too late.
If your rise had was earlier, it would have got that 1 damage in.
Oh, and that's gonna be the series.
Yeah, that's going to be a 4-1 final for LexanRerean, taking it home as the first king in our King of the Hill series.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah, I think he played really well this series, or throughout this tournament.